Let's be real. If you're thinking about becoming a surrogate, one of the first things you're probably wondering is, how much do I get paid? And you know what? That's a totally fair question. It's a huge commitment. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and demystify surrogate pay in the US. We'll break down what that financial package really looks like. Okay, let's just get right to it. The big question: how much do surrogates get paid in the US? Now, you might be thinking there's just one single number, but it's actually way more interesting than that. Think of it less as a salary and more as a complete package that's built to support you through the entire journey.
All right, here it is, the big range. We're talking anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000. Whoa, right? That's a pretty wide gap, and there's a good reason for that. Every surrogacy journey is different. So let's break this down. Where does that money come from? It all starts with the foundation, which is your base pay.
Okay, so let's talk about base compensation. This is really the foundation of your whole financial package. You can think of it as the core payment for your incredible commitment. But, and this is a big but, it's not just one set number for everyone. It can change quite a bit, and it mostly comes down to one really important factor. And that big factor, it's experience. So if this is your first time as a surrogate, your base pay is typically going to be somewhere in the $40,000 to $55,000 range, which is amazing. But if you've been a surrogate before, that number really jumps. We're talking $60,000, $70,000, even $80,000 or more. So why the huge difference? Well, it makes sense, right? Agencies and intended parents are willing to pay more for a proven track record. It gives them peace of mind knowing you've been through it all before: the appointments, the emotions, the whole process. But listen, that base pay, that's just the starting line. It's not the whole story. To get to that big $50,000 to $100,000 number we talked about, there's a whole bunch of other benefits and allowances layered on top. This is where you see all the practical, real-world support that makes this journey feel secure. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. So this is where the package really fills out. It's not just a single check. You'll often get a signing bonus right up front. Bam, $1,000 just for starting the process. Then you get paid for specific medical procedures, plus there's often a monthly living allowance. A few $100s for things like vitamins, healthy groceries, whatever you need. Oh, and a maternity clothing allowance, because you're definitely going to need that. It's all designed so that the little things are taken care of, and you can just focus on being healthy and happy. And the support doesn't stop there. A really good compensation package is basically a giant safety net. For instance, what if you have to miss work for appointments or bed rest? Don't worry, your lost wages are covered. Have to travel for appointments? All those expenses are reimbursed. Health insurance? Taken care of. And something that's so important, you get access to mental and emotional support throughout the whole process. And the best part? All this money is typically held in a secure trust account, which means it's managed by a third party. So you never have to worry about getting paid. It's guaranteed to be there, on time, every time. Okay, so we've seen all the different pieces of the puzzle: the base pay, the allowances, the reimbursements. But what makes one person's final number different from someone else's? Why isn't it the same for everyone? Well, there are a few key variables that can really move the needle on your total compensation.
So we already talked about experience. That's the number one factor for sure. But location matters too. If you live in a high-demand state like California or New York, the pay is often higher. Whether you go with an agency or go independent can also change things up. And finally, the medical details of your specific journey can play a huge role.
Let's talk about one of those medical complexities for a sec. It's a question a lot of people have. What if you're carrying twins? I mean, that's a bigger commitment, a bigger demand on your body. So does that mean more pay?
You bet it does. A lot more. Carrying twins typically adds an extra $10,000 to your compensation. It's a perfect example of how the pay is flexible and designed to reflect the realities of your specific journey.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the money, and obviously it's a really important part of the equation. But if you ask almost any surrogate, they'll tell you that the financial side is only half the story. There's a whole other reward, one that you just can't put a price tag on. And this really says it all. The feeling of giving that gift to intended parents, especially after they may have been waiting for years, it's something that's truly unforgettable. So many surrogates talk about forming these incredible lifelong bonds with the families they help. It goes way beyond just a contract. It becomes a real human connection. So when you look at the whole picture, what's the real value of this journey? Yes, the compensation is there to make sure you're supported, secure, and respected. But the journey's true value seems to be this amazing combination of financial stability for your own family and this incredibly profound personal sense of fulfillment.
It's a chance to truly change your own life while giving someone else the most precious gift imaginable.